Check this out, guys. Dude, that ain't for any one of my kids. Dude, did my wife do this for me? No way. What the heck? Look at that. The tires are massive on this thing. Look at that. Wow. I can't believe she did it. I can't believe she did it. How did she do it? I'm 50 years old and I got a bike under the tree? Dude, look at the tires on that thing. Look at this. Darn near as wide as my whole hand. It is. Look at this. Look at that ring. Am I not married to the best woman ever? Wow. I can't even remember what this one's called. What does that say? It says Monster. Monster. I don't remember Monster. Oh, Monster Quad. Dude. Let me tell you how this story sort of broke down. Like, you know how you go down those YouTube rabbit holes? Well, I just woke up. Kids aren't even thinking about getting up yet. But anyway, let's see, it was the 22nd. I started, I was noticing on Instagram, this is probably for the last year, these guys that do these wheelies on street bikes. And I follow a street bike YouTuber, and somehow that led to this dude out in Florida that does wheelies on like dirt bikes, and they do it right down the street, like right through the city. They have no regard for police officers or anything like that. And then all of a sudden I noticed that these guys are doing wheelies the same way, and like gangs on bicycles just mobbing downtown. And I was like, well, that's cool. And coming from dirt bikes and coming from, street bikes, crotch rockets, things like that, I used to do wheelies. I used to love wheelies, and I never knew how to use the brake on a wheelie. So on a crotch rocket, as soon as you let off the throttle, the back pressure is plenty to bring the bike down if you're going to flip or something like that. But so it's always something I've been into, and I've always tried. As a kid, I can remember spending hours on a bike in the 80s, the 90s, pretty much every time I got on a bike. I mean, even the last time I took my mountain bike out, I tried to do it, but mountain bikes got both shocks are blown, need to be rebuilt. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't even know what to order. I barely know what they are, even if I wanted to order. And I sort of got aggravated all at once because I'm overweight. I got 40 pounds I need to drop, and I got this bike in there and I can't ride it around, so I'm super bummed. And in 2020, it's hard to order parts for anything. But I told my wife, I think I should start looking at an old school bike, and I remembered back to when I was a kid, about the time I was getting out of high school. I had bought a 24-inch Redline. Actually, my parents bought it for me when I was a kid. And I loved that bike. I always loved that bike. Even it wasn't a 20-inch, I felt like I couldn't do the things that my brother was doing on his GT Performer. My Redline looked the same. It was just a little bigger, and it was comfortable for me. So, fast forward, God, 35 years? I don't know. I'm not even going to try to do the math. I'm 50. I probably stopped riding that bike not long after high school, because I got a mountain bike not long after that. And, that was good for me then. Changing gears, traveling miles was good for me then. Now a mountain bike it's not so great for me because if I want to just boom, boom, get the heart going, get a workout, leave my house, I got to park behind my house. I can do laps down there. And on a fixed gear bike, I can get the heart rate up quick. Um, on a mountain bike, I need to go 25 miles to get a good workout. So, I mean, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I don't know. But anyway, to go back to the story, is like 3 days ago, so it would be the day before Christmas Eve, I decided, oh, I'm going to start looking. So I'm looking around YouTube for, I think my first search was like a red line uh, with big tires. And I didn't even know they made bigger tires than 24. But then I figured they might, but on a BMX bike, I was like, huh. My mountain bike's got 27 5-inch tires, and then I heard they came out with 29-inch tires after that, and I was like, oh, now I bought the wrong bike. I should have got this one. Truth is, I love that felt mountain bike I have. But dealing with the shocks and, having to be a bike mechanic on something like that, and then 2020, that's a whole nother issue. So anyway, here I am heading down this rabbit hole, and this rabbit hole basically leads to SE bikes. Um, Now I remember a frame like that one when I was a kid. I don't remember, and I didn't like it. And I gotta say, the whole thing looks awkward to me now. It really does look awkward. I'm blown away that my wife did this. I'm tripping on this, and I can't even keep my thoughts straight. All these kids, they're gonna wake up today. You know, the lucky ones that are gonna get to see all the presents around the bottom of the tree. Suddenly at 50, I feel like one of those kids. And how'd she pull it off? How'd she pull that off in 2020? This year we managed to hit Round Rock bikes, and we got my kids a couple bikes. My daughter, uh, 13 now, is riding a Sunday bike, pretty equipped, man. It was about $5 for that bike. And I would never have bought her a bike that expensive, except they had one. And so I found the real goal was getting a bike for my youngest, and he was still in training wheels. So we found this Haro bike that had not a freewheel, had a pedal brake, and we got that for him. And then my oldest boy's looking up, he's 9, and then they got a better quality Haro that looks just like the other one, different color. His has freewheel and has some better components on it, and we ended up getting that bike and in 2020. But then it's like my daughter's over there, and they have this like light purple Sunday bike. And she was thinking she might want a mountain bike, but then when she tried it, and then when the the cool guy that owns the store had lifted the seat up because they had the seat slammed for somebody doing tricks, I guess. And then lifted the seat up. She loved the way it felt. She loved the way it handled, and she got into it. So we dropped a few ducats that day, to say the least. But we were the lucky ones that actually found bikes for 3 kids. What? That doesn't happen. But even more rare than this is today. I'm looking at bikes 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I just 2 days ago hear SE bikes. I start to learn of the culture built around these SE bikes and this cult following that SE bikes has going on right now. Let me turn this around while I'm talking to you guys. there's a cult following, I guess. I mean, from what I have one day worth of some YouTube videos gathering is that this is sort of a urban drug. I don't know. Um, Kids in cities, old dudes in cities. It's funny. You watch some of these YouTube videos about these bikes and you find out that you're watching a 9-year-old. He's talking about how you do a wheelie, or he's talking about which bike he got. And I mean, of these bikes, I think 2 months ago I saw some videos in 2020. They came out with like 37 new styles. So I guess these are colorways or configurations where some of them have a more narrow tire, some of them have a big beefy tire like this. I think there's one called the Fat Ripper that has a 26-inch high tire, but it's even fatter than that. And honestly, I think that bike looks kind of stupid, to be honest. And I'm not getting used to this bike. So I mentioned to my wife, I must have mentioned the Monster Quad, and she wrote it down. But I didn't even remember the name of it. And I mentioned a 29, because I think I heard somebody in a video say that these 29s are easier at pulling wheelies. So I've got a sprained wrist right now. I'm not going to be able to probably pull any kind of wheelie today. But, man, I can't wait to see if I can do that. Wheelies have been something I have wanted to do on a bicycle since I was a kid. Now I'm not just talking pop a wheelie and pedal 3 times. I'm talking about the kind of wheelie that goes down the whole street. I was at the skate park. When was that? So it was Thursday, because Christmas Eve was Friday. And I had started to learn about these bikes already, like maybe a little bit the night before. I think I came across an Instagram page where these guys were having, I guess, what they call a ride out. They meet up in some city, they get like 100 dudes, whatever, and they all just pull wheelies down the street. And I was like, man, that's epic right there. Like, I want to do that. I'm 50, guys. I'm 50. So anyway, I'm at the skate park, and I was telling some of the old dudes I skate with a dream I had, and Rafi and Ethan Allen, you guys know because you heard me tell the dream. But I actually had a dream the very first night I had discovered these bikes. Before bed, I go to bed and I have a dream where I'm with my boy. He's 9, and I'm inside it's sort of a department store. It has bikes, and it's sort of outside, like sort of the way a Mexican restaurant makes you feel. You know, you feel like you're out on a patio, out on a deck or something like that. I don't want to keep the bike in the shot. And I told Killian, I'm like, dude, I'm going to try to pull up one of these wheelies. Now, it's funny, you can't throw a punch in your dream. You can't run in your dream. It's like you're running in water or whatever. There's all this weird stuff. But anyway, I so lightly and so easily pulled up into this wheelie. And I'm like grinning and smiling. And I got this feeling like, oh my God, I'm doing it. But at the same time, I'm afraid to get too excited because I might lose it. And then I head into this store where these circular, turnstiles, like at a Zoomies, where they got all the t-shirts hanging up on one circular rack, and then they got sweatshirts on the other one, and they got the sell rack, and I start weaving through on the back wheel, doing a wheelie, and then I'm like a little kid, Killian, check this out, dude, I'm doing it, I'm really doing it. And then I woke up, and it was a vivid dream too, like, I remember it perfect. And I was telling the boys at the skate park about it, and Rafi looks at me and he's like, dude, you are done. You are looped for one of those bikes. And I was like, I know, man. I know I can't stop thinking about. Look at that thing back there. That's a work of art. So my wrist has a hard time even holding up my coffee cup. Um, so yeah, I don't know how it happened, but somehow after that skate session, my wife worked this out. In 2020, a hard time to even buy a bike. She gets me one of the more popular bikes, experiencing a cult following all over the world right now, an SE bike monster quad. I haven't looked into this bike. I don't know what year bike this is. I don't know what it has. I think it has hydraulic brakes on it. Yeah, because I didn't see a cable coming out of that from checking it out. But I'm pretty blown away by this. And at 50 years old, dude, I'm going to be able to ride a wheelie. I've I've considered how heavy that front tire is and how big it is because when you see it, it's bigger than it looks like in videos. Um, it's going to take a little getting used to, I'm sure. But where there's a will, there's a way, even at 50. And I don't have any doubt that I'll be able to do wheelies for a half mile, whatever. I feel like I'll be able to get the balance point. I understand it better now. After learning how to do them on a crotch rocket, um, I just understand that you got to get it up there into that scary point before it gets easy. It's like skateboarding, guys. If you don't get ready to get scared, you don't realize that that wasn't that hard. So, anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas this year, as good as you can. I know there's a lot of drama in the world and even more drama coming. There's no doubt about that. We're looking for some drama coming up here. And I guess my prayer in the end is for God's will to happen. And let's keep the frequency high. Let's think of thoughts of freedom for 2021 because Lord knows we need to get our freedom back. It's being taken from a lot of people and it's really hard for me to see. That being said, SE Bikes 2021, I'm having a year. SE Bikes. Later. One other thing to add to my wife. Baby, I love you. Thank you so much for the surprise. And even being the type of person that would try this, you're amazing, hon. I love you.